The April community redraw is here, a little bit late. Last month I asked you to send in your superhero designs and there have been some awesome concepts sent in. For today's video, I'm going to be taking 3 of the designs and I'm going to turn them into awakened superheroes within a kind of anime universe defending the world against some monstrous creatures. So let's bring these illustrations to life. 100 years ago, the world faced an unprecedented event, which changed the course of humanity forevermore. The skies turned purple as giant portals opened in most of the major cities on Earth. Amongst the shock and confusion, monsters came through these portals. Some were gigantic titans that were the size of buildings, others much smaller, but not something that regular humans could handle. That was until it was discovered that several humans were able to awaken what was later named as gifts. Skills that seemed supernatural, or, as some might say, the stuff of legends. It turns out that with the appearance of these gifts, only certain individuals were given these powers and became known as the Awakened. The only ones who could fight back for humanity were those who were awakened. After a harsh battle for humanity, the Awakened finally managed to hold off the invasion of these monsters, and over time, barriers were set up around these portals. Of course, not all Awakened were super powerful guardians of humanity, but those at the top were often descendants of these saviours of man. 100 years on, and their clans each protect a city with the vast powers that they have. While the next generation of Awakened train to build up their skills, only the geniuses of these families will be able to attain the level of S rank or higher. However, increasing one's rank to S is not an easy task, and many can only achieve an A rank at best. Each with their own awakened powers, some inherit their family's bloodline powers, others have a rare case of mutated or branched off abilities, however, this is rare but not unheard of. The first new hopeful was from the Emerald Clan, a family of awakened who had the power to control jade rocks and crystals. This allowed the members of the Emerald Clan to create defensive barriers and armours, as well as flying projectiles or emerald weapons. As with each of the Guardian clans, the heirs to who will be the next generation of protectors had to face a challenge when they reached the age of awakening. This trial would test the strength of their bloodline, as well as the potential to protect the city and citizens from future threats coming from these portals. The test of awakening pits the young hopefuls against one of the weaker but no less deadlier creatures from the defensive barriers. The first test for Jade Emerald, after awakening his powers, was against a centipede-like monster. Although not gigantic in size, this monster was still large enough to cause mass destruction and wipe out a whole city. That was if it got loose. Of course, the Emerald Clan would step in if the test failed, however, this was only as a last resort. Those who were to protect the city would need to learn how to use their own skills in battle, as when the time comes, they can only rely on themselves. Amongst the vast powers and abilities of the Awakened, there are some who have unique and rarer talents awakened within their bloodlines compared to others. One of the rarest powers was the ability to regenerate. Although some were gifted with this ability, the power was very limited. Even the Randolski clan, who were renowned for their regenerative abilities, were only able to regenerate near-fatal wounds once or twice a week, but that would drain a large portion of their life force. That was until the heir of the clan, who went by the name the Immortal Zack, awakened his bloodline talent, and a bloodline talent that was the truest sense of its word. The young heir did not only awaken his bloodline talent, but its level was far beyond anything previously seen. Cuts and injuries seemed to heal in seconds, more serious injuries as well. Even with a limb cut off or his body split in two, he can regenerate instantly. In fact, the regeneration is so high, no one knows if he can be killed. This gave rise to a bit of an ego, and the young heir started to call himself the Immortal Zack. His fighting style left much to be desired. Although he could regenerate with no signs of losing any life force, no one expected him to adopt such a reckless and gruesome fighting style. Instead of being cautious and careful with his fights, he would charge in, unafraid of any type of injury, relying purely on his powers to heal instantly. During his insane fights, he learned to use his regeneration speed to propel himself across distances in mere seconds, and to fire parts of his body at his opponents. When he's not taken a direct hit to get in close, he would traumatize any sentient being with his fighting style. For his test of awakening, it was a little different than the others, since he had awakened such a powerful ability and had already fought off against most of the elites during a recent outbreak. He was given the task of fighting against a boss level creature, a dragon that had a similar regeneration ability to his. The clan wanted to see if they could measure the scale of Zack's power. The fight was beyond anyone's expectation. Zack's ability to regenerate seemed to have no limits, but this dragon was also regenerating at similar speed, with no signs of stopping anytime soon. The fight went on for several days, until something strange happened. The blood from the dragon started to get absorbed by Zack's body, causing the dragon's ability to regenerate to slow down, while Zack's ability seemed to become near instantaneous. The Starch clan was one of the wealthier clans, originally from across the seas, and the heiress to the clan, Linda Starch, was one who had awakened the power of pyrokinesis, the ability to control and manipulate fire. After years of training to harness this rather beautiful but deadly power, she began to test her skills in the underground combat arena for those who have awakened, taking on a persona and given the name of Fire Queen, a name given to her by her massive fans watching as she used her power to roast and rage her way through the ranks of the underground clubs, becoming one of its best fighters. It was at her 16th birthday that she was taken to City C and had to face the trial of the awakened. This time, the creature to be faced was an elite elemental tiger, one of the more ferocious and bloodthirsty of the monstrous beasts that came to attack humanity. Not only due to their size being larger than your average tiger, but these beasts were also keen and cunning, with lightning-fast reflexes and razor-sharp claws. It would normally take several elite guards within the awakened ranks to handle just one of these elemental tigers. However, for the trial, only the heir to the clan can fight alone. This didn't seem to faze Linda, as she'd spent several months training in her powers, as well as secretly training against the powerful awakened in the underground arenas. As her gaze met that of the elemental tiger, her blood began to boil, burning with the thrill and excitement of battle ahead. As the tension in the air grew, the heat from the intense bloodlust between these two, a pair that seemed like wild beasts about to fight a match to the death for supremacy. The eyes watching couldn't turn away, hoping not to miss the moment the pair began to fight. As the chamber stood still and silent, all of a sudden the sound of a faint spark could be heard. It was so faint and quiet to start with, but within an instant it exploded into an ear-shattering sound as Linda suddenly charged towards the tiger at incredible speed. A speed no one was expecting, not even the tiger itself. It did its best to counterattack, slashing its lightning-charged claws down towards its opponent, only to see the image of its foe disappear as the claws slashed through it. It was an afterimage. By the time the tiger realised it, Linda had propelled at such a speed she had punched a flaming hole right through its chest, destroying its heart and most of its internal organs. This happened so fast that the tiger hadn't realised as it turned to look at her, still filled with defiance and murderous rage in its eyes, before silently and almost peacefully collapsing to the ground. The room was silent. Those of the clan who witnessed this were in awe and stunned to their cause at what just happened. This was perhaps the fastest test of the awakened since the second generation at the time of the Great Catastrophe. As always, everyone's submissions were fantastic and I had a hard time choosing them this month. But special congratulations to the winning three. We have D9 Flow, Ark, and Spencer Deckard. I hope you all liked how the artwork came out. I had a lot of fun drawing these almost splash cover kind of designs. And a bit of a confession, D9 Flow, your pose was so good that I didn't want to change it too much. I changed the character's design slightly to reveal a bit more of a face, but I didn't want to change it too much because I thought it just had the whole atmosphere of a superhero. Now, with that said, it's the time you've all been waiting for. Details of the May Community Redraw. Design your own warrior or mage type mystic character based on one of the following animal tribes: the crocodiles, tigers, ants, or vultures. I haven't decided if this is going to be a continuation from the Jungle Darkness redraw a while back or something new. Either way, I'm excited to see what you come up with. The deadline submission is the 17th of May 2024. You can submit via email to redraws@dempseyj-illustrations.co.uk, or you can submit via the Discord, and a link to that is in the description of the video in case you want to check it out. That's it for today's video. Friday will be the Godzilla Monsters as X-Men video that I've been teasing for a while now, and Monday will be a live stream